Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in this internet space. I'm Unique Divination and pretty much hosting this room because I couldn't get any sleep. So I decided to get up and start a room. Last time I was on here, it was very interesting, and I had a really good time giving readings and connecting with people. So thank you for being here. If you just want to vibe out and really don't have anything else to do, I'm currently gonna put on a song real quick so I can get my mind kind of situated. And then if anybody's interested in a read, you can cash at me at Urban Mystic. My cash app is on my profile and I'll put it in the chat. And if not, then I'll just be pulling cards for reading for the collective, I suppose, until somebody wants donation-based reading. So let me put on a song. We're doing out there in the internet space, in the clubhouse space. My name is Unique Divination. I'm a psychic, intuitive healer. I do soul readings, tarot readings, oracle readings, psychic, intuitive readings, common sense readings, past life readings. Sometimes I do dabble in mediumship. I be picking up things. Not I don't know, it comes and goes, but however, yeah, so like I said, I'm just kind of up, vibing out, and I wanted to do some readings. Um, Let me see. Some really good London music. Right now, as far as music is concerned, I'm looking at your question here in the chat. What music you tend to listen to? I'm currently just focused on some Kanye vibes, Kid Cudi, um, Titus. Um, Not really much. When I'm focused on completing goals and projects and having focus intention, I only hone in on certain artists because only certain artists can provide me with that energy that I need. So listen to all types of music though. Um, Listen to all kinds of music. So if you're interested in putting me on or something, drop it in the comments and I'll check it out. Let's see here. So currently, let me see. We are currently in waning moon in Pisces. I just want to kind of set the precedent before I get into any readings, whether they be collective or individual readings, that we're currently waning, going towards a new moon. So we just got out of full moon in Capricorn. I did a 20-minute collective reading on that. If you're interested in that, um, go to my Instagram, click the link in my bio, and you'll get right over there to my YouTube channel, which is Urban Mystic TV, Urban Mystic with a K. All right, so full moon in Capricorn, it taught us some great things. That it was precedent. The theme was the end of a tough cycle approaches. And so for those of us that were going through hardships, was just having a really bad, rough, first half of the year, that cycle is over and things that you've laid down, foundations, obstacles that you've continued to persevere through, the road is going to get easier, right? And so we come from the full moon and we go into the waning moon, going towards the new moon. So it's waning in Pisces at this moment right now. In the next few days, it'll be in Aries and in Taurus. So while we're underneath that, the waning and Pisces energy, I always feel like everything is synchronicity. Um, Everything has a reason and a purpose and aligns, and so there's a reason why this reading is happening underneath waning in Pisces. So Pisces, that sign in itself represents sacrifices. It represents using a higher level of intuition. And with that higher level of intuition, it comes a higher level of knowing and a higher level of being able to utilize your creative skills in a manner that you've never really done it before, right? But it all comes with sacrifices. That's most important. Um, Sacrifices and balancing out the things that you let go, right? And so, segue into the act or the thought of letting go, that is what the new moon, well, the waning into the new moon kind of represents, just kind of like releasing and allowing things to play out. And, the new moon is the energy that comes with that is allowing new things into your life, into your energy field. So, yeah, so this is, I'm going to start off with a general reading for the collective. And I feel like I maybe want to break it down into modalities, but I think I won't. I don't want to get too complex in my readings right now. I just wanted to hop on. But yeah, so all right, this is precedent around waning in Pisces, and we're understanding that we need to let go. We need to release things that no longer serve us purpose. And this is where sacrifice comes in at, because you're going to have to sacrifice things that you maybe love and have a strong attachment to, right? But the energy of whatever it is, environment, people, places, thoughts, things, whatever it is, it's a distraction. It deters you. It takes away your energy. You lose focus. And so, with the waning moon in Pisces, as of right now, while I'm giving this reading, the message is, how focused do you really want to be? Do you really want to fulfill your dreams? Do you feel that you're capable of fulfilling your dreams? Have you lost hope in yourself? Have you lost faith in your own discipline? Can you really sacrifice the things that you need in order for you to be that light that you were born to be? This is your story. You are the character. This is your movie. Everything will turn out just how you want it to if you believe. But faith without works is dead. Not only must you believe, you must take action. And it's a lot of spirit workers and a lot of spiritual people out here just pushing all this love and light and if I manifest it and if I believe in it and I just do some spells, like, nah, I believe in all that too, but you actually have to apply action. You actually have to be walking in the direction of the road that you're supposed to travel in order for you to manifest those things. It's a journey. It's not you just sit and think about things. Like, as you're thinking, as you're envisioning the things that you want to do with your life, what actions are you taking to align with your vision, with your thought process, with your thinking? What actions are you taking to align with that thought process? And so, as I work with people in my personal business and in the corporate world, I'm just realizing that a lot of people are not as dedicated as they say they are. It's really alluring to hold and maintain a certain vision in your mind, but then really acting on it and really doing the things that you need to do to manifest what you want. That takes a lot. It takes a lot. And A lot of people struggle with taking action and completing goals, and they set themselves up for failure, right? But then where my work and my services come into play, I help people set goals, um, create a strategic plan in their life, spiritually, emotionally, help you develop, take your power back, get rid of that victim mentality, motivate and clarify, and help people take accountability for their weaknesses and their strengths, and to love all of that and become self-aware. So that's really important. And I hope on the replay people go back and listen to this and just kind of take it all in. It's really important. So we know at this time, anybody that's listening to this reading, whether it be now in real time on a replay, you got something that you have to sacrifice. It's a great sacrifice. Great sacrifice. Something that you love, or something that you are attached to, but it's hurting you. It's hurting you, your purpose, your energy. It could be a person, it could be a place, it could be an environment, a resident, work. I don't know. But whatever it is, it's a sacrifice that you have to do in order for you to elevate and manifest whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Only you know what that is. I'm just here to relay a message, you know? So I've picked 3 tarot. This is for the collective. And I have the Magician reversed. I have 8 of Wands and I have 6 of Cups. So automatically when I see that Magician reversed, okay, that Magician reversed, Magician in itself represents power. And not only power, but like number one, communication, because Mercury is associated with the Magician card. So we have communication, and we have resources, and any majority of tarot decks, when you look at the Magician card, it has all of the suits around the Magician. So he has the cups, he has the pentacles, he has the swords, the wand, and then he has his own staff in his hand, wand in his hand. And in my card, I have Hermes here, Mercury, communication, right? But this is reversed. So this is a little bit troubling. And this message just continues to pop up. It's been popping up. It's been following me and the collective. This Magician. Sometimes it's upright and sometimes it's reversed. So right now, reverse is telling us that we just continue to not utilize our powers that we have. Throat chakra, when we talk about communication, technology, for all of my entrepreneurs out there, my business people, are you utilizing the internet and technology as you should to help your business? Like, are you really trying to venture, learn new things, to help your business grow? So that's one thing that comes up, right? Another is relationships. What are we doing to help foster, maintain, and build the relationships that we have and future relationships and past relationships? Maybe we have to repair something, right? And so this Magician reverse is telling me that communication is off right now with you and people that are close to you. Maybe it's somebody at work. Maybe it's a loved one, family member, your significant other. Nonetheless, there's a communication blockage right now because either you or the person, y'all really not understanding where y'all coming from. It's too much anger, resentment. It's too much emotion clouding the relationship, clouding the understanding and the boundaries and the respect that needs to be acknowledged in order for these relationships to move forward. And this could be personal, this could be work. It applies to all relationships. So we touched on communication as far as the magician being reversed. And then we have to address the fact that we have on this cup all of the suits. That means that we have all of the resources. That means that we are capable of manifesting anything. It's at the tip of our fingertips, literally. The magician has a wand. And for some reason, this card is reversed. All right. So, for whatever reason, you're not acknowledging your power. Maybe you have to do more shadow work. If you need to do shadow work, I have shadow work content to help you become more self aware of your strengths and your weaknesses. You can no longer move forward in your journey without recognizing all of you, your duality, all of your layers. The deeper you go on your self journey, the more self aware you become and the more successful you become. The deeper you go on your self awareness journey, you start really understanding your strengths and your weaknesses and who you are as a person. And you have no choice but to grow. So the magician reversed, as I was talking about, we're just not acknowledging the power that we have. I don't know what is it. What is it that you need to do for you to recognize your power and the capabilities of manifestation that you have, and the power of your throat chakra, and just being able to communicate. And right now, it's off. I don't know what's going on. And this is speaking for myself too, because when messages come through, they ain't just for y'all, they for me too. So, continue to work on being self aware. Self love is the best love. Self validation. We don't need nobody to validate who we are and what we do in life. We need to get on our Kanye energy. You need to love yourself, because ain't nobody going to love you but you. Nobody's going to cheerlead for you but you. Nobody's going to motivate you but you. For those listening now, those listening on the replay, how many people do you really have in your corner that really motivate you and really make sure that you stay on top of what you're doing? You may do that for everybody else, but you don't have it for you, because there's nobody right now at your level that is doing the things that you do. Right? And sometimes we become so great, or we, have really operating on above average standards, but we forget that we can go harder than this. Like, that's not it. The sky is not the limit. There are no limitations. There are no limitations in the equation and the story of your life and your journey. The only person that's setting limitations is yourself. And that's why this magician card is reversed. Every limit that you're facing, every obstacle that you're facing, it's you, because you're not believing in yourself. You're not believing that you can manifest and do anything you want to do. You're not communicating effectively. You're not telling the universe and or others around you what you need. Stop being afraid to tell people what you need. People are not going to be afraid to tell you what they need. People demand things, so you need to do the same. You need to be focused on you and your goals and your needs, because you've been focused on other people for too long. And that's why the magician card is reversed. We are continuing to give our power to other people, to other things, to other ideas, energies. And then when it's time for us to do our thing and to be motivated, we don't have anybody. When it's time to look for resources, nobody's around. But you don't need anybody. All you need is yourself. You are fully capable of doing any and everything that you want to do. You are fully capable of doing any and everything that you want to do. And so I'm just keep expounding on this card, because we need to recognize our power. We need to recognize our greatness, and that our story, there's so much more. There's so much more. And you'll only be able to go further in your journey if you continue to have faith and you continue to recognize that you have everything that you need: abundance, health, wealth, prosperity. You're not claiming it. And if you are claiming it, you're not speaking in the present tense. We know that, the universe you have to talk to the universe in present tense. I am. That's why in the Bible it says, I am that I am. That's deep. I put a quote up there on Instagram today. I think, therefore I am. I think, therefore I am. If you only recognize how powerful your mind was, you would stop using those negative thoughts. You would stop half-assing your faith. You would stop second guessing. You would be more disciplined if you only realized that once you had complete control over your mind and was disciplined and believed and really understood how powerful your mind was, you wouldn't say those things about yourself. You wouldn't use the words that you use right now regarding your situation. You wouldn't talk about your situation in a negative manner. So these are the reasons why this magician card right now is reversed. You know, we've got a long way to go, and we've come a long way. You know, like I said, anybody listening, hey Candace, to all that's listening, you know, and on the replay, you're top tier. Everybody that's attracted to my energy is top tier people. We're above average. We want the most and the best. And when I say that, I don't mean monetarily. I'm talking about quality of life. Like we want complete and total control over our life, the totality of things that happen. I want to control my environment. I want peace, you know. So strong-minded people, right? And so we all have our journey, we all have our obstacles and challenges, but right now we've hit a fork in the road or something like that. You know what I mean? Iceberg. And, you know, we are still needing to balance our throat chakra. That's Mercury is connected to the magician card. And then, like I said, the magician has all the resources on the card and it's reversed. So again, continue to just work on recognizing our power and standing in our power, and don't waver no matter what in your power. I don't care how much people try to manipulate you, how much people try to uh, persuade you that what you're doing, you know, you don't need to be focused on that. You know, things are going to look really good, right? But it's all to knock us off, and nobody understands your mission and your journey but you. And so understand that. I don't went on this card. I'm on this card for a little bit for a little bit now, but I just really need for us to understand. And for those of y'all that are coming in and out the room, before I even started the room, before I started the reading, I set the theme of what currently the moon is in, and it's waning in Pisces. And so I briefly touched on waning, you know, was representing kind of releasing, and Pisces was dealing with sacrifices and dreams. And you know, the moon is going to go through a couple more zodiacs before it hits the new moon. It's going to go through Aries um, and Taurus and a few other signs. So, you know, why is it? I couldn't sleep. I just decided to pop on, but this message was meant to be under the energy of waning in Pisces, letting go. There's a sacrifice, as I spoke about earlier. I don't want to keep doubling back, but there was a sacrifice. There's a sacrifice, a big sacrifice, something that you were solely so attached to, but it's just not good for you right now, right? And if you don't sacrifice whatever that is, it's going to hurt you in a big way. You might miss your moment, you know. And so, you know, we're going to have to kind of think with our minds right now instead of our hearts, because or wherever that emotion is coming from, especially if it's an attachment to a person or an environment, you know, somewhere, or an ideology that you've been taught or just live under, you know, you have to get rid of it. It's a major sacrifice that you're going to have to make. And Pisces also deals with dreams, right? And so I'm just talking about, and it's funny, like I said, the magician reversed, you can literally manifest your dreams, but we still are lacking in the energy that we need to really recognize our strength and our power. And that's okay. I mean, that's why I'm here. We're doing this reading. I'm definitely taking this into this message. Just continue to self validate, self love. And I also touched on faith without works is dead. We can't continue to expound on love and light, and vision boards, and my abundance journal, and we're writing all these things, but we're not taking action. Right? Okay, you're thought about it, now you've got it on paper, or you're seeing it in a visual, but what are the actual physical steps have you taken to move towards that journey, that move towards that goal? And so this is just a reminder that faith without works is dead. I don't care how much you think it, thought it, I don't care how much candle magic you do, if you don't put some action towards that goal, that mission, that purpose, that project, it's not going to come into fruition. And so these are all of the things that's tied into the magician card, the magician reversed. These are all the things that are tied into the magician reversed. So the next card is the Eight of Wands. And we've got Sagittarius on here. We've got Mercury again on this card. So communication is really important in this time, in our paradigm shift, in this transition that we're going through in the present moment. I would say between now and maybe the next full moon, waning going into the new moon, waxing going into the full moon. Communication and transition. We're forever going through transitions, but it's a lot of transitions going on right now. It's a lot of phases. It's a lot of layers being peeled back. It's a lot of things being revealed. It's a lot going on. Eight of Wands, this card is called Lord of Swiftness. We've got Mercury and Sagittarius on here. And Sagittarius is about adapting with the change. It's okay. Adapt with the change. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it, right? And so with that comes time management, organization, balancing, getting rest, drinking. So there's all these things that are attached to us working on ourselves and then creating the action to do these things, right? And I really don't get deep into things. It's late night. It's what, one in the morning here on the East Coast, but the will, capital W, the will. Like if you don't have the will to do these, if you don't have that feeling inside that makes you want to get up and do it, that's a problem. That's a really a challenge when you're like kind of dead inside. And it happens, for just getting beat down. Mental stability, not getting enough rest, not eating healthy, not eating vegetables, fresh vegetables, fruits whenever possible, drinking water. All these things can help during a shift, because people don't understand that when you do spiritual work, there are physical effects that happen. There are physical effects that happen. I've been doing a lot of shadow work, and the way how my energy is set up, I can only do but so much, and I have to really sit back and reflect, and I have to really sit back and just take everything in, rejuvenate after a lot of stuff. Shadow work on myself, networking, connecting with people, um, moving forward with my shadow work, continuing to work on my strengths, my weaknesses, continuously trying to, see things from other people's perspectives, but doing what is right for me, being empathetic. Um, all of these things take a toll on your mental stability. And so, this is just kind of a reminder that with the transition that we're going through, um, you've got to take care of your physical body. and a lot of communication is coming up. I get really tired, especially like when I do readings and I'm really tapped in. It tires me out and I have to go rest. Um, so knowing what you're capable of, knowing what your boundaries are and your limits while you're going through your transition, so you know how much you can do. If you can only do so much, just do that, you know, and reward yourself. That's, I'm getting ready to segue into the next card. Six of Cups, Lord of Pleasure. So no matter how little steps you take, it's still movement. It's still movement. And so you always reward yourself for, first of all, we're going to reward ourselves for not quitting. Because we know there's a lot of people out there that done gave up and done quit in their life because they just didn't have the will inside to want to continue to move forward. So, I just commend people. This world is cruel. This world is cruel and it's harsh, and it's not a safe space for people who feel intensely and deeply. And so that's why there's suicides and all these other things. People cut and they do things because they can't handle the world. They can't handle the pressure. Everybody has a vice. The number one drug in America is alcohol. Our government gives us drugs because, and coffee, they implemented coffee during the Industrial Revolution to keep people going, right? Because if you don't have these things, if you don't have a vice while you're, living in this world, God knows what could happen. So a lot of people can't deal with things. And I just want to commend everybody right now listening, and anybody that's going to hear this on a replay. I just want to commend you for continuing to move forward and to wake up every day and to just strive to just try to have a positive outlook and just to keep going, because I was a very negative person. you know um, I'm Cap Sun Taurus Moon, and I always try to talk about myself as an example because that's all I know. But I was very pessimistic, and I felt like being a realist was thinking what's the worst thing that could happen, and that may happen first. And I had to realize that my thought process was wrong, and that things happen in life. How you think about it is gonna change it, and all you can do is control yourself. But let's have a best possible outcome. We can always have a plan B. I just kind of had to shift, the thought process and just the pessimistic view on life. And this is always happening to me. And, once I changed that, and I'm like, wow, I'm winning in life. I've been winning ever since. So our mind is a powerful thing. And Six of Cups, Scorpio is on here. So on the Eight of Wands, we had that Sagittarius transformation. And then we move into Scorpio energy, and Scorpio is represented in tarot with the number 13, which is death and rebirth. So Sagittarius energy is telling us that we need to adapt. We need to move forward. We need to adapt. And this card is called Lord of Swiftness. So our time is up. All the pussyfooting around, all the lollygagging around, for my Philly people out there, for all of us who be lunching. Lunching just means you taking your time, like you doing everything but what you're supposed to be doing. Lunching, right? And so we can't drag our feet anymore, right? Because you don't want to miss your mark. You don't want to miss your mark. This has a time stamp. This transformation that we're going through, it's a time stamp, and we have to stay on the course. And I'm not one to push and try to do things fast, but we have to learn how to adapt a little bit faster than we have. We have to learn how to adapt a little bit faster than we have, and that's okay. I'm slow at a lot of things, especially like social skills, you know, um, and it's no excuse anymore. Whatever the excuses that you've been using, and they may be legitimate, but the internet, YouTube, I watch so many people who do so many great things and they don't have limbs and they don't have half of the things that I have. They have less, you know? So it's no excuses. Those are obstacles and challenges. This is your movie. You are the character in your movie. This is your story. You don't want the ending. How you not gonna win in your own movie and you the character, So let's figure it out. Let's move forward. Let's adapt to the changes. For those of us, I struggle. I can go with the change, but I struggle with it. It affects me in various ways. I have anxiety, um, throw baby fits. These are the things that y'all really don't see. Unique divination. I'm trying to be a little bit more vulnerable and open. I don't like to be so, as for me, um, I go with the change, but it affects me in a physical manner. Like, example, this car accident that I was in. And I have to go through these treatments 3 times a week for 6 months. So I'm introverted, y'all. I'm extremely introverted. If I didn't have to leave my bedroom, I would not. Okay. And I have like apprehension, I have anxiety, my stomach gets in a knot every time I go because I have to go 3 times a week. And I'm looking at the bigger picture. I can't talk too much about it because it's an open case, but the bigger picture is a nice picture, right? And so I have to adapt. I've skipped a couple treatments, even though I've been in pain, just the fact of just having to go there. Like, I have really bad anxiety with just deviating from my schedule sometimes. And so we all have these things that we struggle with. That's why I brought that up, and you have to adapt. I don't care what kind of anxiety, like, you have to, let's adapt some coping skills and coping mechanisms, right? And so what I've started to do was in the morning, I started to talk about how I was going to enjoy going to my treatment, kind of like psyching myself out a little bit. Oh, it's okay, Candace. It's life, but so I'm tricking you work with your mind, tricking your mind, reprogramming your mind. So I talk to myself how, I feel good after I have the treatment. They give you, you relax there and it's just, I have a good experience. The people are very nice. It's just the apprehension of going. And so I realized that I've had to talk to myself nicely and just, I've expressed this to people. So people help kind of motivate me, you know. And the last treatment I went, it went really good. I went there and I was okay with it, right? So again, whatever issues you're having, whatever things that you go through, when these changes happen, you have to adapt. You have to shift. You have to move with it quickly. All right. And then Six of Cups, Lord of Pleasure, Scorpio. And so putting yourself in a place of discomfort, getting out of your comfort zone is extremely important for you if you want to develop emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. Just getting out of your comfort zone, doing something that you just wouldn't normally do will just shift and reprogram everything. And so once you've done that, and then you're adjusting to this, you've got to reward yourself. You've got to reward yourself. You have to reward yourself. You cannot complete things and do things and work through these things and not acknowledge yourself and your achievements. And I have a hard time with that. I don't know if you guys do, but I'm literally in my doctor's degree right now. And I've done a lot of great things in my lifetime besides those degrees. And I'm just like, whatever. Like, I just work so hard in life that it's just like, it was hard getting it, but I don't know. Certain things for me are not as hard to achieve as other people. And so people just sit there and they're like, wow, like, you really, like, and if you're one of those people that does that, it stops. Acknowledge. Tell yourself how great you are and, the things that you've done in life, a lot of people couldn't do. And we're not taking nothing away from anybody, but we're just acknowledging how great we are. We're acknowledging how great we are. We've done so many great things, right? And so we need to start living in that energy. And that's that Kanye energy I be talking about. Sometimes you have to for the things that you want and the success and the quality of life that you want and the things that you want to manifest, there's a certain level of energy that you have to invest. And it's not going to come from anywhere. You're not going to get it from everybody because there's nobody around you. It's very few people around you that even have the same frequency that you have. You're going to have to pull this from within. You're going to have to pull this from within. And that's going to take a lot. That's going to take a lot. Going back to us, I'm saying resting, sleep, balancing your time, being organized, make sure you're resting, meditating, cutting your phone off sometimes. These are all the things that you're going to have to do during your transition. And as you're checking off your goals, as you're seeing in real time your environment change as a result of you doing the work, you need to reward yourself. I don't care how small it is. When I go to work, I have a to-do list every day. On the left side of the page, I write goals to do or my to-do list, and on the right side of the page, I write goals completed. And if I get one thing done, I put it on a completed side, I am rewarding myself a nice dinner. I don't know, something. It just reprograms your brain. It goes back to that scientific experiment they did, Maslow's, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But with the dog and the bell, and they would ring the bell and bring the food out, and the dog would salivate, and they continued to do that until all they had to do was ring the bell. They didn't even have to bring the food out anymore. And so our brains kind of work something like that too. And when you teach yourself new things, when you move out of your comfort zone, when you do anything that is out of what you normally would do, you're literally rewiring your brain. Okay, so rewarding yourself, that might be new to y'all, some of y'all. It used to be new to me, right? But I'm on my doctor's degree, 4.0. Like, I reward myself. Every paper I turn in, every discussion I do, I am the queen of, I'm getting ready to reward myself. And I've seen what it's done for me. I don't need to wait on anybody to make me feel good or give me a reward. If anybody else wants to do anything, that's great. But I reward myself. Um, and if you want to reprogram your brain, if you want to help rewire your brain to complete goals, because not a lot of people are goal setters. I talk a lot about that. Not a lot of people complete goals. There's a lot of people out there that just talk. Like I was saying earlier, it's really intoxicating and invigorating, the idea of success and being healthy and doing all these things that make us a better person, but actually applying the work. It's a very small percentage of people that do this, right? And so, with that being said, you reward yourself because everybody ain't out here doing what you're doing, and you're doing it very well, and you're handling it very well. All these obstacles and challenges being thrown at you, and you're maintaining. So, after this, I don't know where you are. On the East Coast, it's about 2 in the morning. Go to sleep, get up, go have a nice breakfast. I don't know, go shopping, go down to like whatever it is that you want to do that makes you happy, that is going to bring a smile to your face and make you feel good and release those dopamines. We need the dopamines. Baltimore in the building. We need the dopamines, y'all. The same things, the same dopamine that's released when we're eating food and having sex. We can program our mind when it wants to give out these dopamines. And so that's a big part of it. Okay. So let me know if anybody wants a reading. I'm doing $10 readings. Okay. I just been kind of running my mouth. Had to get this off my chest as collective for the reading, and it was very insightful and resourceful. I'm gonna pull a self-care card, and let me see what other oracle cards I'm gonna pull because I'm still got some more message to deliver. But nonetheless, if you want a reading, go ahead and send me $10 on Cash App, and we can get into a reading. We can do general or specific. So I'm going to put some guidelines out there because I remember people You don't mean to do it, but if you don't set boundaries, people will cross them. So I just want to set some boundaries and some housekeeping for when I do readings. If I ask you if you want a general or a specific, make sure you know what you want. A general reading is you don't have a question. You're just allowing me to pull cards and I'm just going to expound, right? I'm just going to expound on the cards. And you can ask a follow up question on the cards that I pulled. I will not be pulling any more cards and I will not be answering a question. I will not be answering an entirely different question from the first subject. Okay. So it has to be on subject. Like, you can't ask for a general reading and then something comes up about, money and finances and you want to know, is your boyfriend going to break up? I don't know, but I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. And so for a specific question is a specific question. It's something that's can be elaborated on with more than a yes or a no. I like specific questions. I am very intuitive, and sometimes you guys call me psychic. I'm still working on that. But I do need information to pull from. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how other people are set up, but that's how I'm set up. That's why I use the tarot cards and the oracle cards. It helps me to expound and to go deeper into my intuition and my, uh, clairvoyant abilities, right? So I like specifics. I like general questions too. I love them too, but I like specifics. So if you ask a specific, you can get it. You can do a follow up question, okay? And I'll give you an answer to that. If you want something deeper, then you're gonna have to book a reading, okay? And I'll do like multiple. If you want another reading, if you want to do another donation based reading after everybody in the room has been taken care of, then I'll go back to you. So those are just my roles. And yeah, not much. So if not, then I'm going to continue on because I still have um, a message to complete for the collective with the waning and Pisces currently. And don't forget to follow me. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. If you click the link in my bio and Clubhouse, get to my Instagram. And then I have YouTube channel, Urban Mystic TV. Check that out. I do celebrity psychic readings. If you're interested and just want to know the energy of, your favorite celebrity or whatever, I'll do it. And also do full moon readings. Most of my readings are timeless. I don't really date them anymore because I feel like if you go back to them, the message may be the same or different depending on whatever growth you've been through. So yeah. Let's see here. Let's do a soul. I love these soul cards. So we're still in the collective reading. This is so interesting. What's my take on the moon? What do you mean about that? That's a little broad. What do you mean, what's my take on the moon? I got several takes on the moon. Do you want me to... Hold on. I'll let y'all up here and talk. I've been running my mouth. Hey, what's up, Marcus? What you mean? What's my take on the moon? You want to expound on that?
How you doing?
Hey.
Um, uh, well, I've been getting these thoughts and feelings and doing some studies on the moon as far as what its origination is. Like, is it organic or is it natural to the solar system?
That's an interesting question. Me personally, I don't think so.
That's how I feel, and if that's the case, then it really has has a serious negative effect on, the solar system as a whole, but also us as a planetary body and collective consciousness. But at the same,
I would say shadow. I wouldn't say so. Remember, there's duality to everything, and so for whatever reason, it's here, and it's in our present moment, and while we're here, we still have a sun and a moon. And I know in previous times, I really try not to get into this stuff because this is occult information, which I love to talk on, but I just really haven't talked about stuff like this publicly in a long time. But there used to be several different suns. Saturn used to be a sun at one point. So the planet, it's gone through several stages. Like, I really don't want to get into that. Sometimes these stages are called epochs. So it's been through a lot. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily look at the moon as having being negative. Well, it can be negative, like put like electricity, positive, negative. So if you want to look at it like that, I wouldn't view it as like a good versus evil. You know what I mean? I would look at it as uh the sun, what kind of effects does the sun have on us, and then the moon, what kind of effects does the moon have on us? And we only know about our sun sign. Most times when you ask people about their zodiac sign, they're only going to tell you their sun sign. But we have a moon sign, we have a rising, we have other alignments with a birth chart, including other types of charts, human designs, chart of origin. So there's so many different layers to us, but we have that duality of the sun and the moon. And so the sun is what we kind of personify to the world, to the public, what we want people to view us, how we want people to view us. The moon, your moon side or your shadow, um, has things in there that need to come out, or negative things that have to be worked on. And so both have influences on us. The sun influences us in one way, and the moon influences us in another way. So, and the moon has an effect on us water wise, and we're 95% made up of water, us, humans. And so just think about that. The moon, when it's the full moon, everybody goes crazy. Crime goes up and all that. So, people just got to understand the forces. I wouldn't necessarily say that the moon is negative in a manner that's like a good versus evil kind of superhero villain type thing. I would look at it in a manner of like electricity or like magnetism, or something to that manner. Kind of, also like a gun. We don't like to think about it, but a gun isn't evil. It's the people that hold it and do the things that they do. So all these things are tools. And just like the tarot card, the first card that I pulled was the magician reversed. So we could even express in this conversation, just recognizing that all of these things are tools. All of these things are tools. All of these things are at our command at some point, and we need to figure out how to utilize it. How to utilize the moon's energy. And I'm big on it. That's why I do full moon readings, new moon readings, because I respect that energy, and we have to learn how to move with it and not let it control us. Some people aren't affected by the full moon. Some people, as soon as that energy come, because the full moon is potent 3 days before, 3 days after, you can immediately see a change in them. They're agitated, they're angry, you know, um, and it's all about being kind of self-aware and doing that research. So that was interesting that you brought that up. Appreciate that.
no, no problem, no problem. I got some other things to add to it, but I'll see if anybody else wanted to speak.
Oh, go ahead. We can have a conversation.
Oh, okay. You ever heard of transfiguration?
Transfiguration, as far as what?
The moon goes. So, like, the new moon is when the moon isn't illuminated. The full moon is when the sun shines through, illuminating the shadow of the moon. Hence, that's the macrocosmic, event. But for us, the microcosm. that our shadow form is illuminated for us to, observe.
Right.
So transfiguration, that corresponds to like the element of solar fire, and I would say that the sun basically, which burns away the shadow forms in the lower chakra centers, right?
Right.
So the lunar forces, what they don't share is that there's an archetype, the dark mother archetype next to the moon. That's the negative aspect. So when that full moon comes, the lower shadow forms start to rise in our body, and it's being consumed by the solar fire, the sun. So then the I guess the term is intracellular, but the intracellular light, it illuminates the lower shadow body reflections, and then we're able to sense them where we couldn't before. So that particular event, like you said, it is able to be used for our betterment if we perceive it that way. So the transfiguration, that defines many different gradations of ascension experience. So where the shadow and lunar, these will rise from the cellular memory of the body to be seen. So we basically can perceive the shadow rising into the area of body where the memory is attached. It could be either physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. So when we witness the shadow rising and all of the negative emotions and pain that's associated with our memories, and this could be genetic memories as well, lifetimes, anything, uh,
Right.
identities and timelines, right? So the shadow is something to learn how to embrace and not fear, especially when it rises to the surface of our awareness, and it gives us the opportunity and shows us exactly where we need to heal. So that's the good aspects of it, but I feel like that is only able to be done because the sun shines a light on it. So I feel like if the sun was never a factor in shining a light on the moon, that the moon would only have a negative effect. Because I truly feel like other, I don't know what you believe in, but I feel like other beings brought that into the solar system for a malevolent purpose. But because of
Right.
the sun, which is, you know, God and raw consciousness, that you know, it uses itself to, shine through the moon to kind of use it for the betterment.
Right. I understand where you're coming from, but like just kind of wanted to bring it back to that duality. Like I said, I used to question why things happen and, what is this doing here and why is it here? Nonetheless, I feel like it's here and, it acts with in conjunction with the sun. And so that's that duality aspect. So for whatever reason, they was allowed to do it. It happened. So does that mean that it wasn't supposed to happen? Does that mean that it's a bad thing? We can only analyze and research from our just little minion brains. We really, I don't even know at this point. And studies, I've done so much studying, I can't even remember half the stuff I've studied. But you know, ultimately, I don't know. Um, it's just really good information that you brought up. And it all, feels like it just really ties into shadow work. And I also wanted to bring up the moon. The moon is representative of feminine energy too. So it's interesting how, you're bringing about the moon being negative or kind of not relevant or kind of just needing the sun, which is a representative of masculine energy. So that's why I'm kind of saying, like, I don't know how this all came to fruition. Like, we weren't here, but I do know that we do need male and female to create. The male and the female union have to come together to create life. So I don't know. Interesting perspective. But the moon is associated with feminine energy. And so we all know how, women are viewed. And, when we're daring and not submissive and all of that, we are labeled a lot of things. So just even subconsciously thinking about the information, that we have that's associated with the sun and the moon. And that's why I revere, for whatever reason, the moon's here, it's here. And it affects us equally, but different, than the sun does. And so, you know, feminine, the goddess Kalima, she has so many forms, and one of them is the black form when she's in all black and destruction. So it's interesting because, Feminine energy can be caring and it can be nurturing, but it's also dark and destructive and powerful, and that people don't want to talk about too, that side of feminine energy. So um yeah, that was really interesting. I don't know if anybody else wants to kind of elaborate on anything, but if not, I am going to pull these oracle cards that I pulled, and they just continue to align with the message. Of course, at this point, I'm not surprised anymore. My readings be flowing. Um, so I've got some self care cards. I pulled two, and just segueing right into it, just aligning. Um, One is called movement, and one is called positive affirmations. And so I talked about us reprogramming our minds. You know, like I said, I posted on Instagram. I think, therefore I am. And I really love, simple quotes or sayings, or just, but they really hit home. People, you don't have to really say too much, for things to be deep. And sometimes the most simplistic things have the most profound, deepest, can invoke something. And so that just, I've been really reflecting on that. I think, therefore I am. And that's why I said, if you really were acting in your self-love, you wouldn't think about or say the things that you say about your situation. I think, therefore I am. That means anything that comes out before it even comes out your mouth. That means the things that you think about, all the negative things that you're thinking about, you or somebody else, it can manifest. I don't know if anybody has happened here, but I have a little confession. Sometimes I thought about somebody being hurt or something happening to somebody, and it happened, and it scared the crap out of me. And at that point, I understood that I am a magician, like this magician card that we pulled, and the things that I even think can really come into fruition. And so that's a lot of power. And I expressed about how powerful we were and how we didn't even realize how powerful we were, because we're waiting on somebody else to tell us instead of self validating ourselves, instead of being on our Kanye energy, right? So, positive affirmations, man, speak nice to yourself, speak kindly to yourself, your situations, reward yourself, be gentle with yourself, take time, right? Patience, right? Adapt to what's going on. There's nothing you can do. It's inevitable. It's part of the journey. Adapt. Move swiftly. There has to be movement. Self-care card, so movement and positive affirmation. No more just standing around waiting for things to happen. Faith without works is dead.
I actually got a question real quick. Um,
Regarding,
it's regarding like all of this. I
hmm
don't really, I've never done any of this or like listened to people for real talking about energies and stuff. My fault. I'm like half asleep, but
that's okay.
um, could maybe others. You know how you said that my life is. I'm the character basically, and I could move my life in a certain direction if I put the effort, right?
Right.
Could
hmm
others affect my life, like,
Oh, yes, they can.
and that's
Yes,
what
they
I'm saying.
can.
So how can I can really control my life if
You
there's
be
others?
self-aware. You be self-aware. You take your power back. No more victim blaming and saying, oh, because somebody else may have influence, I might not be able to control my life. You see what I'm saying? So always making sure that you are maintaining your power and you're not giving it away. That's first and foremost. And being self aware. And with self aware is knowing yourself, knowing boundaries, knowing your weaknesses, and knowing that the spirit world is real and you're going to have to protect yourself. I work with something called sigils. Sigils are basically, just in layman's terms, they're logos, like companies have logos, and basically a sigil is an intention statement or a sentence, something, a positive, whatever you want. but you take the words, you no repetitive words and no vowels, and then you take those letters and you create a piece of art out of it, or a sigil, or some type of marking or whatever. And so I have protection sigils. I have it tattooed on me. I'm a spiritual worker, and I work in the shadow. I help people work in their shadow. So I'm a light that chooses to be, and I've had to accept this. I didn't really understand that, but I'm a light in the dark. So I work with people who, are trying to get their power back, and they're trying to get these negative habits out of their shadow, and they're trying to bring positive things that they shoved in their shadow for whatever reason out. And so I protect myself. I tattooed my protection sigil on me. I wear charms. I carry crystals. I listen to mantras. I have rituals. I do candle magic because I know that the spirit world is real, and I would never think that just because I don't believe in something that it can't happen. But that doesn't mean that you go through life thinking that anybody can have control over you. No, you just become more self-aware, and you protect yourself, and you become more self-aware spiritually and physically. And that's all. I mean, look at celebrities. The CNI is all over them. All the people, Beyonce, all these celebrities, people just talk about them and wish things on them. They wish them death 24/7. Do you think that's stopping them? And I'm pretty sure they have spiritual healers. They have spiritual people that protect them. I'm pretty sure 100% that those people that are successful in life, they're not moving in life without no spiritual protection.
Oh no, and I definitely believe in all this. Um, what was I gonna say?
You were
It's
talking about
just
influence.
I was actually raised Christian, right? But I've had a spiritual awakening when I seen my death. Like I looked in the mirror and I seen my face. It was no features. It was just death. And earlier this year, I got touched by an orb, and all this is just like messing me up because I don't like everything is aligning to just the world going the wrong direction. Like I want people to do right, and I feel like the government's what's messing me up right now because I'm being targeted by my local police and all that, and this shit is what am I supposed to do? You know?
Well, I've heard a lot of things. I heard I want people. So it seems like you have to focus on yourself. You've got to focus on yourself. You can only control you. We want a lot of things in life. We don't want murders. We don't want killings. I don't want no more black babies being aborted. But I can't control that. The only thing I can control is me. I can make sure that I'm not aborting black babies, that every baby I have in this world is intentional. So there's a lot of things that I don't like, but there's nothing we can do about it. We can only control ourselves. And there are energies, because I grew up Christian too, and I grew up in the hood. I grew up in the suburbs for a little bit, and then I grew up in the hood for a little bit. And I realized that there's a different energy around the hoods. Like, I used to live in North Carolina in Goldsboro, and I was constantly getting tickets. I could not get out of that energy of always getting pulled over. It was crazy, and I'm like, what's going on here? And then I moved to another state, and I saw that it was trying to follow me in another state, and so I started doing protection work and started releasing that energy of police or whatever that was tied to that. And then it just backed off, and I stopped getting tickets, and I just was like, what the hell? So trust and believe that there are, if you're keep getting harassed by the police, that's an entity within itself. That's an egregore. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but if you go to my YouTube channel and you type in egregores and stuff like that, it's an entity that's built off a collective conscious, and it's got policies and rules, and it's a living being. So just everything in it, everything has an entity or like a body attached to it, right? And so the energy of the police, it has some type of egregore or something attached to it. So I would burn a brown candle if I were you. I would burn brown, get a vigil candle and burn it, and maybe do some type of intention statement, releasing the energy, and continue to do that until you see a physical result. Okay? So, yeah, just I would really focus on yourself and your own actions and what you can control. And sometimes when we want to continue to focus on things that we can't control, it means that we have no power in our own life. So just subconsciously, it just seems like you're really going through, not really having control, or what you feel like is no control, but you just giving away your power, and now you got to collect it back. I don't know if you're into Harry Potter, but when Voldemort, like, he put a soul in all those different Horcruxes, like, that's what it's basically like when you give away your power to people, places, entities, environments, and you got to go get that Horcrux and get your soul out of it and put it back in you. So, but
That was
yeah. So movement and positive affirmations. We've got to fake it till you make it. Put vision boards up, put affirmations up on a mirror. A post-it note right next to your mirror. And when you wake up in the morning, read your post-it note and look at yourself in the mirror when you say it. I've done this. I've done mirror work for years. It works if you do it. And anything that I talk about is never going to be automatic. You know, um, instant gratification. You know, small things maybe, but changing your thought process and your mind, that takes a while. And depending on how broken you are, or how strong you are, how balanced you've got things. There's so many factors that come into play, and how fast, or how much you can grow. How soon will you be able to level up to understand, or really get that feeling. But the next two cards are soul journey cards. The first one is judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges, and so we tend to be very harsh on ourselves more than others. And the things that we judge in others are things that we don't like in ourselves. And we just kind of got to be honest with that. Just learn on letting go. Stop judging. Let people do what they do. You cannot control them. You can't control nobody but yourself. You can't control nobody but yourself. Don't worry about what nobody else doing, as long as it don't affect you. If people's actions are affecting you, then you do things accordingly so that they don't affect you anymore. That might be easy, that might not be easy. But nonetheless, it's up to you, because the power is in your hand to take control and action. But if people are not doing things and it has no effect over you, you can't be worrying about it. That means maybe there's an emotional attachment. Maybe you're helping somebody that you really don't need to be helping, or, because I don't know. But stop allowing people to suck you of your emotional energy. Stop worrying about what other people are doing. When you give people your energy, whether it's good or bad, negative or positive, they're sucking it regardless. And some people don't care what kind of energy they get. They'll feed off of negative energy just to have your energy. So just be careful. Stop worrying about other people, their situations. All that is energy being put, and it could be put to your situation. It could definitely be put to your situation. So we don't want to worry about what nobody else is doing. We don't care what they're doing. It's not affecting me. It is what it is. I know what I have to do, and I know I have to work on myself. So I don't even have any business judging anybody anyway, because my shit's fucked up over here. I'm no way in shape, informed, perfect, but I'm striving to be the best version of me each day. That's all I can do, is be the best that I can be each day, and just continue to have open communication, and just try to do the right thing, even when no one is looking. Just try to be a good person, whatever that means for you, whatever that means for me. But definitely just focus on myself and my journey and my strengths and my weaknesses, and how am I going to overcome these challenges how am I going to get my power back? How am I going to love myself more? And once you learn it and do it, it becomes a part of your story. And then you look back and was like, wow, I had all these doubts about what I could do, and when I just started focusing on myself and just striving to be a better person, look at what I overcame. And it becomes part of the story. The next card is the Death card. We have Scorpio on the Six of Cups on the tarot. Death card says, I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. And so I told you that this message is coming to us under the waning moon in Pisces. Pisces deals with sacrifice. And in order for our dreams to manifest, we've got to sacrifice. And so the sacrifice is going to bring is death to one thing and birth to another. So get ready to have a funeral. Acknowledge, pay respect to whatever it is, the situation, person, place, thing that we can ready to lose. It was in our life for a reason. It was on that we needed it for that part of the journey, but it doesn't serve us any purpose for where we're going. It doesn't serve us any purpose for where we're going. And so with that being said, just let's just pay respect to it. We don't want to just throw it to the wayside. You can't ever get more in life, abundance of anything, if you don't appreciate what you've had or what you have. So we are going to acknowledge, but that part of the journey is gone and that has to be acknowledged, and it's a new journey and that has to be acknowledged. So it's threefold: acknowledge what was there, acknowledge that it's ending, and acknowledge that it's beginning. Three steps. The number three is manifesting, three is birth, three is fertility, three is growth, three is foundation. Three-legged stool, you could sit on a three-legged stool. So that is some form of stability. That is stability. That's stability happening. So, in this death card, we have so many things that are transpiring. And while we're, you know, transitioning and moving forward, we're growing stability, a sense of foundation, structure, in our thinking. We're getting more grounded, right? So that's a good thing. I don't know anything really about planets. Wish I knew more. I don't have the time to get into all that stuff, but I feel like the way how the planets and everything is lining up, like it's allowing for us to be grounded, you know. Check your houses. I don't even know what house to check. Just look at your birth chart, and just see where you have any earth signs in your birth chart. I have Capricorn all through my birth chart. I don't know what God was thinking when they made me. I got Capricorn and Mercury, my Venus, my Sun. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if there's some kind of joke or what, but I manage. So, last two cards.
Capricorn's dope.
It is. I know Candace, but I got, I don't know. We're weird too.
Is it the ruling planet Saturn?
Yes, it is. And that's why, like,
That's
I
tough.
just, for a long time, that's why I was always a pessimist, because I felt like anything that's ruled under Saturn, like, you going to work hard. You're going to work hard, and Saturn, when you make mistakes, Saturn's going to ride your ass and you're going to have karmic backlash until you stop making that mistake. So, um, being a Capricorn, I've just tried to learn from other people's mistakes. I just try to do the right thing, and I try not to complain when I see others manifesting great things before me. I try not to be envious because I understand that it's not my time now. Everything gets greater later for me. And I'm seeing that I will be 40 years old this year, and it's been going up and up and up. Each year, each day, I'm just manifesting. I'm making more money than I've ever made in my life. So it just continues to get greater later. And I appreciate that. And, I just try to give my jewels to the younger generation. And then I also try to learn from the generation to help me adapt, and move forward in this modern day. So yeah, Saturn is interesting, but Capricorn, very misunderstood, very complex. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Capricorn, because I study, I mean, Candace, I study signs like heavily. It just, I don't even know why I pick up on them, and just to see them in real time in different people. So, um, yeah, just, I mean, it's other signs that are extremely complex to me. Um, that people really, because I get a lot that people can't read me sometimes, but I feel like if you know me, you can read me. But
Me
I get,
too.
what'd you say,
I get
Candace?
that a lot too.
That's a good thing though, because I'm like, good. What you trying to read me for?
Facts.
Yeah, so I love it. But I could read the shit out of people. I could read people. I can see a picture and just get so much stuff, and it's just amazing. And I'm just loving coming into that. But people try to talk about the zodiac stuff. It's definitely real. I mean, it's all types of archetypes that we operate under. And it's all kinds of designs and, things. And if we didn't, I mean, it's all made, for reasons. God made different sets of people, and he had certain guidelines and things that we had, to be a human. And, so I've met too many people, different signs, to just see, that this is not real. It's just crazy. But so these last two cards, essential oils. This first one, I've never heard of this in my life. Petit grain. It represents independence, and the trigger statement is, I am just like my mother or my father, or whoever, fill it in. And the true statement is, I'm free to choose. You are ready to break free of the conditioning that has bound you so that you may continue your journey of healing and growth. And Marcus, you talked about that earlier, about genetic things that we have to deal with on so many different levels. And I've had people say to me, oh, you're just like your mom, or you're just like your father, or stuff like that. And I don't claim none of that, because I'm me. And, I'm a different, better version of my mother. And I'm breaking all curses and everything. So when people try to tell you who you are, that's what that victim mentality, that power, they're trying to take your power. So I'm telling you, that's just like, what we go through here as colored people in America. They're telling us we're not Native American. I don't really want to get into that too much. Check out Dane Calloway if you don't know who he is. But um, when people come in and start telling you who you are, it takes away your power, and then you'll maybe forget to actually find out who you are, and then maybe you'll lose yourself. So it's important to not let anybody label you and tell you who you are. You label you. Don't let nobody tell you who you are. you know um, for anybody on this now or on the replay, domestic violence, and when partners call each other's names and say things and stuff like that, that stuff tears down people mentally. And so, you just got to remove yourself from them spaces, no matter how hard. Just don't allow people to tell you who you are, you know, even if they want the best for you. Some people, well, I wanted you to be this and you're this. I don't care what you want. This is what I want, you know. Um, and then this other card is focus. It's a blended essential oil. It doesn't really have a smell, but it represents, it says empowered. Trigger statement, I don't want to be here. The true statement, I'm exactly where I need to be. You are ready to allow the energy from the divine and Mother Earth to fuel you as you fulfill your potential here. You are ready to allow the energy from the divine and Mother Earth to fuel you as you fulfill your potential here. And so I talked about that. I'm just being ready for the change, resting, um, taking your time. This is an uncomfortable space. I'm in an uncomfortable space. I can't see what's moving forward. Generally, I'm really good with like having a vision and knowing where I'm going with things. For right now, certain things in my life, I can't see anything. And so it's uncomfortable. And I don't want to be in this space because it brings about anxiety, and there's other things that's attached to me not wanting to be here because I can't see the vision right now. And then remember earlier I talked about faith without works is dead. So just because you can't see the vision don't mean that that vision ain't happening. Don't mean that things aren't happening in the spiritual realm that we can't see the build up. The big gigantic cup at the water park, that's just filling up with water, and then eventually it's going to spill over, but we can't see it right now because there's nothing, you know it's just chaos. Like I said, we're uncomfortable. We're not where we want to be. We don't even know what decisions to make right now, right? But the only thing that we know, and based off this reading, is that we just got to continue to keep moving forward. Focus on us. Um, Continue to strip down to the core of you, peel the layers, unveil some things, see things for what they are. Understand that sometimes the things that feel good are not always good for us. And so there's going to be sacrifices that we're going to have to make. And it's things that make us feel good, but they're not good for us. They're actually draining our energy. They're taking our energy. They're not giving us any energy. And this could be people, this could be situations, thought process, whatever. But it's definitely taking from us, and it's being presented as an illusion of something that is good for us. So, the veil, I keep talking about the veil being pulled back. Everything that glitter ain't gold. And so we've got to look past that, and really see, and it's going to emotionally hurt. Whatever the sacrifice is, we're going to feel like, oh my God, but like literally after you get through those emotions and you work through, you going to be okay and you going to bounce back tenfold from whatever that situation is, whatever this person is, this place, whatever it is that's got a hold on you the way that it does. Um, Continue to take back your power. Absolutely.
Totally agree.
So how is everybody feeling? I hope a lot of that resonated.
More than you can imagine.
That's awesome. So I don't know. It's 2:30 in the morning over here.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead, Candace.
I was just gonna say it definitely resonated for me. All of it.
That's great.
Interestingly.
Yeah, it definitely resonated for me, and it's just funny because you know I
It's
guess I
crazy
kind of.
because it's so real. My fault, but
No, no, no.
it's
Go ahead. Go
just
ahead.
it's just crazy because it's so real. Was everything just
So what's interesting for me is that like because I'm an introverted healer. I really didn't, and I'm still, trying to acclimate and just really own and be accountable for this gift. Um, but sometimes when the messages come out, I don't want to hear it. I'm like, no, I don't want to do this stuff. So like, definitely coming, from a source, because sometimes even the message that I have, sometimes I don't align, like I'm not ready for whatever came through. So I just appreciate you all for your support and just continue to resonate. And so like I said, if this is your first time kind of connecting with me, definitely check out my stuff. I may go live again. Got a lot of time on my hands now that I don't have a little one running around. I just got to finish up some schoolwork, and I feel like I may jump back on. So I'll probably create another room later on. If you're interested in a donation-based reading, you can go ahead and prepay probably, but I wouldn't do it until you see me like actually create the room. If I create a room, I'm definitely coming on. But if you're interested in a personal reading, just hit me up. If you want just to see more of my readings, go to my YouTube channel and just check everything out and go from there. So I hope everybody has a great night, great morning, and probably talk to you guys later on.
Thank you, Unique. Happy Sunday,
Yes, happy Sunday. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you. Have a
Appreciate
good
it.
night.
Bye
everyone.
bye.